Okay, good evening, everyone. Let me just get rid of that. All right. I just want to make sure I'm coming in nice and loud. Where is it? There we go. Can I hear myself? Let's wait and see. Oh, okay. Perfect, I can. And I can see that my computer audio is not coming through. There was a live stream. Oh, that's probably where you can hear my audio come through computer audio by accident. Anyway, that was accident, I swear. Okay, let's switch over to here. We'll switch over to there. Not that one. Come on, come on, come on. And close that. Where's OBS? Oh, open that up. And we'll kind of, yeah, let's kind of switch that. All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to start nice and, I can try to start 2 minutes early and still I'm a bit late. That is terrible. That is terrible. Anyway, let me just get this started. I don't want to record that. I want to record the whole. I want to record that screen. And I want to make sure I've got the correct mic. And start recording that. And we're also going to start recording locally as well. And finally, give me a moment before we can rock and roll. Just need to send one post out. Going live. And I will pop in this URL. Okay. And I'll click on post. And we are good to go, I believe. Everything is looking good. Okay, perfect. Let's now switch over. Make sure everything is. All right, I think we are good to go. Perfect. Let me switch that across. Switch over. And if you have any questions, please by all means, chuck them in the chat. Chuck them in the chat. Okay. All right, perfect. What are we talking about? Customizing the backend. Customizing the backend. All right. So let's get, oh, we're 2 minutes ahead. No, we're not. Actually, we're only 2 minutes behind. That's all right. Bring that up nice and close and let's get started. Okay. How do you customize Drupal's backend? Now, that's a question I get a lot because whenever you're building a Drupal site, you actually spend a fair bit of time changing things in the backend, adding in menus, making things easier for the editor, making it easier for users if they use the backend. So tonight I want to show you just a few ways that you can customize Drupal's backend, or Drupal CMS, or Drupal's core, doesn't really matter, but we're going to be using Drupal core, we're going to be using Drupal CMS in this example. And hopefully by the end, you'll have a good understanding of just what is available when it comes to customizing Drupal's administrative backend. Because when you think about it, what is the admin backend of Drupal? Well, it is a bit of the theme. You can modify that, which is Gin. It could be changing form elements. Because I don't know about you, but if you've ever worked on a content type that has 30 fields on it, plus 10 more paragraph types, those forms get pretty big. So you would often customize the backend that way. And also you could use views to create custom admin pages as well. If you have a specific content type where you want to show it in a table format and then do any type of bulk operations. So we're going to be covering a lot of stuff tonight when it comes to modifying Drupal's backend. So right here, I've got Drupal CMS. Okay. Now, Drupal CMS is a new flavor of Drupal. It essentially is just a prepackaged version of Drupal that comes together with a bunch of modules and configuration. And that's it. And over the last, 6 months, I've been using it pretty much for all my streams because you'll notice that the backend for Drupal CMS is a little different to the standard backend if you install Drupal core. Now, Drupal core has an admin theme called Claro, I believe. I think it's called Claro. But Drupal CMS has a theme called Gin. Now, as of I think a couple of weeks ago, they mentioned that Gin will become, so this admin theme that you're looking at right now will become the new admin theme for some future version of Drupal, that it's going to officially become the new version of Drupal. So we're going to first start things off by looking at how to customize the Gin theme. Now, I have covered Gin in a previous video, but things have slightly changed, especially now that it is kind of now the de facto admin theme. I do believe a lot of people use it, but I personally like Claro. It's much better than, well, what was it? 7. That was around for a very long time. And it was funny, just recently, I actually worked on a Drupal site, believe it or not. I feel like I sometimes logging into a Drupal site can, sometimes you kind of forget that, yes, you do work on Drupal sites. Anyway, long story. But yes, I logged into a backend of a Drupal site and it was using the 7 theme. And I thought, oh, that's a blast from the past. But as I said, Gin will be the new theme from a specific version of Drupal in the future for Drupal core, but for Drupal CMS, it's already here. So let's take a look at a few modules that we can install with Gin. So as I mentioned, this is a theme. So if you come to Appearance and you've stored Drupal CMS, you will see it as a theme right here. But there are a few modules that you can use. The first one is called Gin Layout Builder, and this just integrates Layout Builder with the Gin theme so that it looks much nicer. Because the Layout Builder sometimes kind of looks out of place if it's not styled correctly. And look at that, we've got our first comment from Twitch. I love Gin. Well, I hope you're talking about the theme, not the drink, but yes, Gin is a very good looking theme. I mean, my heart, when it comes to admin themes, my heart will always go to, what is it, RootCandy. That is a Drupal 6 theme. And this was when there were no backend themes, but yes, it's called RootCandy. It's a nice Drupal 6 theme. And then you have Gin Login, and this gives you a nice customized login page where you can add in a logo and also a nice little wallpaper. Then you have Gin Toolbar that just integrates the standard toolbar with Drupal into the Gin theme. So we're going to take a look at these 3 modules, okay? But before we jump ahead and look at them, let's take a look and see what you can customize out of the box. So if you come to Appearance and then click on Settings under Gin, you will see that you do have a few options here. So first things first, you can change the appearance if you want dark mode or light mode. That's a preference. It's up to you. You can set auto, because I do believe that gets it from the system, but you can set it to dark. Look at that. It's looking actually pretty good. And then you can set it to light. You can also change the accent color. So if we, well, let's go all the way to this. You can slightly see, I hope you can see it in the stream. You should be able to see it. It's got a nice, you've got a nice green, you've got a nice pink, got a nice red here, dark purple, purple, teal, light blue, or the default. Then you have focus color, and that is, so if we save that, I do believe that's the actual, oh yeah, when you tab, it gives you a nice, it gives you a different color. Let's go orange. Oh, you don't even have to save it. You can see that's got a nice little tabbing color. And then you have the standard blue, okay? Then below that, you have contrast. So you can increase the contrast. I actually like this. I was playing around with this and I was like, you know what, this actually makes it look pretty nice. It just makes everything pop in a nice way where it's not too, oh, what is it? Like washed out. I feel like I'm talking to like a designer right now, washed out. Then you can control the Drupal toolbar, but we'll take a look at that in just a moment. We'll just, we'll take a look at that towards just later on. So just ignore that. And then if you scroll down, you have layout density. So let's just save everything. What I'll do is to demonstrate this, let's open up the content page. And let's open up the content page twice, so we can see the difference, okay? Now, if you change the layout density to narrow and click on Save Configuration, let's go ahead and refresh this one. What you're going to see is the table does narrow up, like the rows squash up. And if you switch between the tabs, you can kind of see that they squish up. And that's the technical term. And then further down, let's set that to default. Then further down, you can enable form description toggle. What that essentially does, so if we go to page, you'll see that you have a description always shown below the field. If for some reason you look at that description and you're like, that looks disgusting, don't want it. Oh, I think disgusting is, a strong word. You don't like it, have seen the description, you can then enable it and you get these nice little question marks and you click on it and it shows you the description. There you go, just gives it a nice little icon. And finally, you can allow users to override these options at the user level. So if we go to edit profile, here we can change the password, email, username, roles, and things like that. And I can change the roles because I'm an admin user. But what we can do is if we go back to Gin and allow users to modify things, we now get this option, enable overrides. And you can go ahead and change, oh yeah, you can change pretty much all the settings. Oh, didn't even think of that. So let's take a look. Yeah, it is. Oh, of course, except these options, but these are theme level options, but you can change everything. That is pretty good. So if you do want to customize colors in Gin and change the focus color, you can modify it from here. Now, of course, if you want absolute control, then you will have to essentially write probably custom code for that. You can, of course, sub-theme it. But when I looked at the documentation for Gin, they actually recommend that you don't sub-theme it. Not sure why, but you just have to you just have to understand that if you do sub-theme it and there are certain changes, you're going to have to then take ownership of those changes whenever a new version of Gin comes out, because you need to make sure it doesn't break your theme. No, that's an interesting comment in Twitch. Descriptions should never be hidden, as this is good UX practice. Yeah, that's a good idea. Never thought of that. There you go. Thank you. And this is why I like to do live streams. Always get these nuggets of wisdom. Yeah, that actually does make sense, because sometimes you may not know that you need to click on that question mark to see the descriptions. That's where a lot of the UX UX things. I know with me, when I've had problems using websites, it's like, I didn't even know you could do this, because it doesn't look like something that's clickable. So that is a good top tip. So let's start things off by looking at Gin layout first. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at what Layout Builder gives us. So here on the home page, I do know that the home page, so the basic page that is used for the home page, is overridden using Layout Builder. So if we come up the top here on the top right and click on Layout, we should be able to see. Now let me zoom out, because this is probably going to be hard to see. Probably zoom out a little bit more. Yeah. All right. So now you're going to see Layout Builder. And if you click on, say, Add Section, you do see this section here on the right-hand side. I think it's called System Tray. And depending on how well your backend theme works, this may require a bit of customization, but you can come in here, add a layout, and then you can add in your blocks, and you have this standard look and feel. This is the standard Layout Builder look and feel. Okay. Now, Gin layout makes the system tray just look a lot nicer, and it kind of integrates the styling of Layout Builder into Gin so that you have a nice uniformed style. All right, now the comments are coming in. All right, still, okay, sometimes customers who use Drupal are not experts and do not know what this field does. You should always help them. Oh, absolutely. I would say most people that use Drupal aren't Drupal experts, and that's kind of a problem, because a lot of the Drupal experts don't actually use Drupal sites. I've noticed that a lot of the people that do build Drupal sites don't actually use them. And that's why it's important to actually build a Drupal site and use it, but from a content management view. So what I mean by that is, use it to actually write content. If you want to specialize in Drupal, because then you kind of see, oh, editors struggle with this. Now, I'm kind of terrible at that, because I technically I'm not writing any content on any Drupal site at this point. But I was thinking of moving my personal site back to Drupal. It used to be Drupal, then it's WordPress, and now I could probably move it back to Drupal. But anyway, but yes, it's important to use Drupal as a content editor. Oh, and we have a comment on YouTube. Have been waiting for this topic for months. Well, I'm glad I have been able to read your mind and talk about it. Yes, it's important to understand how to change the backend. So to get started, make sure you download and install the correct version. I believe just make sure it matches the correct version of Gin. So I've already gone ahead and downloaded it. And let's just go back, and I will open up Extend in a new tab, and I'll search for Gin, and we'll install Layout Builder, and just give that a moment. So hopefully everything installs perfect. And if I go to Gin, you do have, well, Gin layout, you do have some configuration here. So you do have these, what is it? Toastify. They're those little things that pop up. I'll show it to you in a second. And then you do have a few other options, but generally that is it. You don't have to customize anything else. What you can do is you can come back in here. And before I move, let me switch my camera over to the Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I was going to say. No, was it that way? No, that way, that way. Yes, to the left-hand side. I don't know. The power of editing of, no, I've moved it to the left-hand side right now. There we go. And what we can do is let's refresh and we come up to the top here, click on layout. And now you get this nice, well, nicer looking system tray. You can pull it out. And these little pop-ups here that you just saw, those are the Toastify. And what you can do, you can show the preview, but that you can do anyway. And then you can edit the blocks or the sections. You can add in a new section. Look at that. That does look much nicer. Search for feed. And then if we come along in here, we can click and drag. The only thing, oh yeah, you can see the toasty, what is it, toasty? I mean, the Toastify stuff. I'm sure that's how you pronounce it. I'm terrible at pronouncing English words. But you can see this, little message here. The only issue I have with this, it looks good, but I do sometimes think that it does kind of get washed out. Like, it's hard to see the regions. I do like the way Layout Builder works, where you can see the regions with a nice little gradient or a what is it, background color or something like that. I do like that. So yeah, I do like that you can move it around as well. And then if you, configure, you get that. Click on move, you can also move things around and you can also delete. So if you are using the Gin theme and you want to have a better layout builder experience because it integrates nicely with Gin, then take a look at Gin layout. All right, we've got another question. I specialize in Drupal. I don't use Drupal for content. That said, the WYSIWYG editor is fantastic and you can customize it to do pretty much anything. Yeah, absolutely. The WYSIWYG editor, yeah, CKEditor is pretty powerful. I remember the days when Drupal didn't even come with a editor out of the box. Those were the days. But yeah, CKEditor is pretty good, and there's a lot of cool things you can do with it, especially like embedding stuff through entity. What is it? Entity browser and entity embed, and also creating content. What is it, content templates? I think you have a plugin, because they're called plugins in CKEditor, we can embed content templates, and that is pretty cool. All right, another comment. I've always found builders to be messy. Yes. I think site building is a messy process, trust me. That's been my experience. You're always what do I say? You're always you're always dissatisfiedly, no, you're always unsatisfied. You always get to a point where a site's never done, you know. What is it? I've always found builders to be messy. I prefer structure with paragraphs. Much cleaner in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, also understand using paragraphs can be a bit of a controversial topic as well, because there was a video, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant here. There was a video a couple years ago that talked about performance issues with paragraphs, because paragraphs uses the entity reference revision. So every single time you create a revision of a node, for example, so a content type, and you have 20 paragraphs in that paragraph field, it will create a new revision for all those paragraphs. And somebody did a great presentation. I forgot their name, but I think they worked for Acquia. They did a presentation on having to deal with a website that had millions of rows, in the paragraphs table, because this site, of course, had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of content. But then when you think about it, if you have hundreds and thousands of pages and you have paragraphs and 20 paragraphs per page, for every single revision, it's going to create then, a massive table. And then I had somebody contact me on Slack, on Drupal Slack, like specifically saying, you shouldn't be promoting paragraphs because there's this performance issue with paragraphs, and can you contact this person and tell them not to talk about paragraphs? And I kind of had to tell the person, I'm like, mate, if you don't use paragraphs, don't use it. Like, there's no perfect solution. But yeah, anyway, long story short, I like paragraphs. I use it for everything. I think it's a great tool. It's a great way of adding in nested structured content. but it can get messy very quickly. Coming back to your original comment as well about, builders can be messy. You can stuff up paragraph structures pretty easily if you have a lot of nested paragraphs. And that is a huge issue that I've seen. We have like 3 or 4 levels. I've seen sites that have like 3 levels of paragraphs, and that can be a pain to deal with, especially if you're trying to write custom code that traverses the tree back up. So it's like entity, paragraph, parent, parent, parent. It's just messy. Yeah, see? Yeah. I can confirm that we're having performance issues because of paragraphs. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you've ever had to, I recently had to write a SQL query, you know, writing standard queries. I feel like with some, Drupal developers kind of forget how to do that, but I had to write a query where I wanted to figure out on how many pages, paragraphs, certain paragraph types were embedded um, into pages. So I had to kind of do this like massive query because there's so many tables. There's about 3 or 4 inner joins just for the basic paragraph, and then for every single field you do, it's another join or a left join to kind of get that information. It was a very messy query, but I got AI to write most of it anyway. I kind of cheated that way. Is it cheating? No, it's not. It's not cheating. Anyway, all right. So where were we? So as I mentioned, if you are going to use the Gin theme and you're going to use Layout Builder, then I would highly recommend that you use Gin Layout. Now, the other module that I recommend you take a look at is called Gin Login. This one is a pretty simple module. So what does it do? Well, let me show you. Let me open up incognito. I'll open up an incognito window. Come along in here and you see the standard login page, okay? And it looks okay. Doesn't look that nice, but it looks okay. Now, using Gin Login, we can actually replace this login page with, so let me not do that. Why does Mac OS do that? Oh God, man, so annoying. All right, just switch it that way so I can see it both ways. There we go. All right, let's go here, extend. I'll move this to the side, type in Gin login, click on install, and then if we search for, what is it, Gin login, you can configure a few things such as the logo that is used and also the wallpaper. So if you want to put like a nice little fancy right-hand side wallpaper, you can do that. Or if you want to put in a custom logo, you can do that as well. But now if we refresh, we get this nice login page. So the wallpaper here is on the right-hand side, and then you have this logo right here. And you get the forgotten page. I do believe for the registration page as well, it will show you this nice login page. It's a simple module and it works pretty well. So highly recommend you use it if you want to show off and just give your Drupal site a bit of a wow factor. All right. So next I want to show you is how to use Gin Toolbar. Well, not that one actually. Well, how to use admin toolbar with Gin. Okay, because if we come back to Drupal right here, you'll see that we do have this navigation right here. Now, this navigation is new in Drupal. It's only been around for, I don't know, I'll say a year. It's an experimental module. And it's on by default in Drupal CMS. But if you can remember, Drupal comes with a toolbar module. So let's go to extend. And what we're going to do is let's uninstall navigation. Let's click on uninstall. We're just going to uninstall it. And we'll install the standard toolbar. So come along in here. Oh, now that navigation is off, the install button's down at the bottom instead of the top right. Got it. All right. Okay. So now if we go back to appearance and then click on settings, we can now modify the navigation. So by default, you've got this, well, it's similar to the navigation module, but I actually prefer this. You know what? I actually prefer this because one thing I don't like about the navigation module that's on by default is that it kind of takes over. Like the thing kind of pops out from the left-hand side. And a few times I know because I use Drupal CMS once a week. Well, actually, I do kind of prepare for these live streams. So I do use Drupal a fair bit. And I don't like how it pops out, but I do like this one where you can kind of drill down. I do like that a lot. All right, comments. All right, I'm curious about your usage for Drupal. What do you mean you don't use it for content? What do you use it for example? Oh no, what I meant by that is Drupal site builders just build Drupal sites, but they don't actually use Drupal to write content because when you have to create landing pages or actually write content in Drupal as a writer, then you experience Drupal from a different viewpoint. That's what I mean by that. Where yes, I've been building Drupal sites for a very long time, but you kind of hand it off to an editor, but you don't actually spend the hours writing content. And there's a big difference between writing content in Drupal and just building a Drupal site. So that's my thing. Another comment, similar to WordPress. Oh yeah, similar to WordPress. That's the navigation. All right, so here we have a few options with the navigation. You have the sidebar. Let's install, well, you have the other sidebar, so that gives you a different style. Kind of like a, oh no, it doesn't. All right, so that's more of the sidebar. That kind of looks like the navigation, I'll say. Then you have the horizontal that goes over the top. And this one I do like. I don't know. For me, the toolbar has always been up the top. Then you have legacy one, classic. And this one doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, so let's go back to the modern one. And so let's stick with the modern one. And the other module that I highly recommend you use, and you would only use this one if you do not use the navigation module, and that is admin toolbar. Because what this module gives you is that it gives you a few things. So let me just refresh this page so we can see everything. There we go. And let me search for admin toolbar. And you want to install admin toolbar, also extras and search. This one's pretty cool. So install all three. And if we go to the dashboard, for example, first things first, you do get a nice hover menu. So when you hover over things, you can drill down, which is great. The extras also gives you, so the extras module gives you a few more options here where you can clear the cache, you can run cron, and the search, what that gives you here on the right-hand side, you do have the ability to search. So we can search for, say, content, and it will allow us to jump to specific sections. This is similar to the coffee module, which I will cover in a second, but this is just another way of searching for things. And I actually miss the admin toolbar when I'm using Drupal CMS. Maybe for future live streams, I'll start using a web wash flavored version of Drupal CMS. And I don't know, make it available on GitHub or something. Just kind of things that I need for my live stream. Because there's always the same things I always install. Right, well, let me pop myself back to the, what is it? That side. Oh, there we go. I hope I pointed in the right direction. Anyway, all right. Move myself over there. Perfect. Okay. Now, another module that integrates and works well with the Gin theme is called Gin Toolbar Custom Menu. Now, this module is great for adding in extra menus up the top here and assigning icons to them. So let me show you how to do that, okay? So first things first, we're gonna have to do a little bit of site building. So what I've got here, again, as I mentioned, I might actually start creating a WebWash flavored version of Drupal CMS because I always create the same content types and things like that. And would it be good if I can just press a button and it just generates a site for me? So here I've got a basic content type called project, and it's got, what has it got? Title, content, and tags. Let me go ahead and create a basic view for this page. Oh, sorry, for these content types. So all I'm going to do is come along in here, and I'll call this one project. And I'll call it page, I'll select project, and I'll give it a path of admin/project. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Sorry about that. And make it a table. And that's it. All right. So it's a nice little page there. Go admin/pro. Oh, no. Let's change this to /projects. And click on save. And we've got our nice little projects page right here. All right, comments. All right, comments. Oh, cool. There's a lot of comments here. All right, to answer the question from a viewer and elsewhere, I can answer that. I'm a Drupal CMS developer, and in fact, we use exactly what the CMS gives us. Then we build on top of that as a foundation. It's powerful, but requires extensive knowledge of Drupal's framework, which itself is based on Symfony. Well, yeah, it is. But just knowing Symfony won't help you understand Drupal. The thing with Drupal is that it does have its whole entity system, and you just need to understand its plugin system and things like that. But once you understand that, then yes, absolutely. You can modify a whole bunch of stuff. So we've created our view. Let's now add it to the toolbar. So let's go and install Gin, what is it, custom? Oh, sorry, what is it? What's it called? Oh, toolbar, custom menu, there we go. Let's install it. And so let's go to the config, was it Gin, not Git, was it toolbar? And let's configure it. And you can configure a few rules right here. So essentially what this does is that this allows you to add a menu, so a list of links to the toolbar depending on the role. So if we click on depending on the role. So if we click on add rule, we can select a specific menu. And then if the user has the assigned roles, or you can exclude it, they will see those menus up the top here. So what we need to do now is we just need to create a custom menu. So to do that, I'll use another tab, and let's go to structure, menus, and let's create one called, what's this, projects? Call this one like projects. And I'll add in, call this one project listing, and we'll point it to admin/projects. And I'll add another link and call this one create project. And what is it? Node/add/project. I think that's the path. All right. So we've added in our two menus. And now what we can do is come back here, refresh, click on add rule. We can select projects, and let's add it to content editor and administrator, and let's click on add rule. And now we have our rule up the top here. And if we save, straight away, we can see our two menus, but you'll notice that the other admin options have gone. Now to add those back in, what you can do is just click on keep administration menu. And let's just hit save configuration. And now we can see all of the menu, which is great, the admin menu. And finally, if you scroll down, you can now see custom icons. So what we're going to do is for project listing, which one are we going to do? Let's do let's do that one for project listing and create. What icon should I use for create? I don't know what icon is used to create something. Oh, let's do that one. And click on this. And now you've got these nice links with icons. Look at that. And that actually makes it look very, very nice. Actually makes it look very professional. Let's go back to, where is it? Here. I'll be curious to see how hard it is to add custom icons, because that's going to be my first thing. It's like, how do you add in custom icons? Because you know that's going to be one of those comments. And also, where are these icons from? Anyway. All right, so we have a question. Okay, in the future, could you make a video about AMSWAP module? I don't know. I've never heard of that module. What is that module? Have a quick look. Oh, admin menu. Well, let me bring that up. I don't think I've ever used this module before. Huh. This module, difference between this and... Oh, okay, so it allows you to add it in the admin. Okay, oh, that's good to know. Well, that is good to know, yeah. I don't think I've ever used this module. Maybe I've seen it. I never used it. Huh. Anyway, so yeah. So if you want to use, so if you want to add in menu items, I guess you can use this module. Well, thanks for the tip. All right. So as you can see, when using Gin, you do have a lot of flexibility. And I personally do like Gin. Like it makes the Drupal backend look much nicer. Well, Claro, to be fair, is a good looking theme. I don't mind it, but I do miss 7. No, I'm joking. Now the other one that I was talking about, what is it, Drupal? Oh, should I really be Googling this? Yeah, okay. This was the one that I was talking about. This is the old school one that I was talking about. This is from Drupal. They don't even have releases anymore. I think it was Drupal 6 was the last one, wasn't it? Oh, look at that. When did it peak? Let's go all the way down. Oh, 20. Yeah, this was my one. Trust me, this was groundbreaking design. What is it? Web 2.0. The good old Web 2.0. Oh, okay. Oh, well, no, thank you. So have a go. But I'm just reading a comment from Twitch. But I just want to say that you are a source of inspiration for Drupal content. Oh, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Well, thank you for stopping by. And thank you for chatting on Twitch. I don't know. I get like very few viewers on Twitch, so I really appreciate it. So yeah, as I mentioned, this was my old school. This was my number one theme back in the day. Backend theme, RootCandy. Awesome theme. A lot of memories. So if you are using Gin, take a look at using Gin layout to manage your layouts. Well, to manage the layout interface, Gin login to customize the login page, and then using Gin toolbar custom menu, you can add in custom menu items, and then also look at using admin toolbar. I mean, admin toolbar is a great module. And I don't know if I'm sold on the navigation module. I like it. Absolutely. I like it, but I do prefer just, it's a personal preference of having the toolbar up the top, not on the side. All right, before we move on, I do need to rebuild the site locally because I've probably trashed it because I turned off navigation and things like that. So what we're going to do is I'll show you. This is actually pretty cool. So in DDEV, here's a bit of a little top tip with DDEV. So DDEV actually has this cool little command called snapshot. So you can actually create a snapshot of your database. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know if it actually copies the image or something in Docker. I don't know. I'm no DevOps Docker expert or anything. But snapshot, what you can do is it actually can take a snapshot of your project. So if I type in, what is a snapshot list? I've got this one called start, which is on, starting. And what I can do is type in DDEV snapshot restore, and I can put in the name, or if I leave it out, just leave it out, I think it will tell me, yeah, you can actually select between them, hit enter, and what it's going to do, it's going to do something with the images, like building the project, and it's just restoring the database. So what I like to do for these streams is I like to get the local Drupal site to a certain point, and then I take a snapshot of it so I can always revert back to it. There you go. And you can even, it gives you a nice little command here that you can run to check if it's imported in. Because sometimes I can imagine that if you have a large database, you can sometimes take a while to import these tables in. Well, you can see there's a lot there. All right, and that is that. So now if I come back here, let's close these. Well, this is all going to be page not found because it's all now reverted back to the original state. The original state. All right. The next module I want to show you is Coffee. Now, Coffee gives you this kind of spotlight, kind of like a pop-up that you can enter in any type of menu, any type of admin menu, and then you can quickly jump to it. So I don't know what it's called, but on Mac OS, it's like Spotlight. It's actually, I think, based off this look and feel, it's based off Alfred, which was the original kind of popular, what is it? I forgot what they're called. I mean, VS Code does the same thing as well. What is a system prompt or something like that? Now, Drupal CMS comes with it out of the box, so you don't have to install it. But if you're not using Drupal CMS, you can just go ahead and install it. And it is just, Option D. So you get this nice little pop-up, and you can quickly jump over, say, to views. Or you can even, I think there are certain commands you can put in. So what is it, basic page? What is it, commands? I'll go to the home page. You can put in, what is it, basic page, jump to create a basic page. And if we go to configuration and search for coffee, if I can spell it, you can control exactly which menu items are displayed and also the results. And I'm not sure if you can change the keyboard shortcut. I'm sure there's a way. Maybe you have to do it through the back end. Wait, let's have a look. Here we go. Allow user to specify keyboard shortcut, needs work. Oh God, 2012. Well, I guess it's not that important. Oh, that's hilarious. There must be a way of doing this through code. I can guarantee it this is just through the back end here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, where you can't do it through the back end. But that is hilarious. 12 years. Using Drupal sometimes you feel very old using Drupal because it's been around for a while. And I do believe you can create your own. There is a hook coffee command to create your own commands. So for developers. So yeah, nice, short and sweet, this part on using coffee. It gives you a nice little pop-up where you can jump around using the keyboard. But as I mentioned, with Admin Toolbar, the search submodule for Admin Toolbar is very similar to coffee. So yeah, I don't know. Use whichever one you prefer. Use whichever one you prefer. All right, let's go. Well, let's refresh this page. All right. When you install Drupal CMS the first time, straight away you'll notice that there is a dashboard. And there is a module that was, I don't know if it was created just for Drupal CMS, but the module allows you to create these type of nice little dashboards. So by default, Drupal CMS gives you a dashboard out of the box. And what you can do is you can click on Edit Layout. And this is essentially powered by Layout Builder. So you get this nice little sections, and you can go ahead and click on Add Block. And then from the right-hand side, you can add in your custom blocks to regions. But best of all, so if we close that, let's confirm that. If we go to structure and then dashboard configuration, you can create your own dashboard. So just imagine giving your editors or your users any type of dashboard. So you can click on add dashboard. So let me add one in called my projects. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go edit the layout, and I'll give this one 2 columns. And I'll click on, can you see that in there? Yes, you can. Let's click on add here, and let's put in recent content. So if we go to dashboard right here and click on my projects, we can see our recent content. And you can even put in custom views blocks. So if we go into views here, I'll create a view quickly called project listing. And let's create it as a block. This will be very simple. I will limit it to 5. Yep, that's fine. And let's put in authored on and click on save. And we've got this nice little listing right here. And to add this to our toolbar, all we need to do is go into our dashboard and then click on add block and search for, what is it? Project, here we go, project listing. Click on add. Now we've got this little block right here. Click on save, click on dashboard, and now, go to my projects, and now we can see our block in the dashboard. So any type of Drupal block you can just throw into the dashboard and make pretty good looking dashboards. That is one thing that business people like to see, nice dashboards. And if you couple that with, charts, custom charts. And I did cover how to add charts to the dashboard. I do have a video on using the charts module in Drupal. And I've got a whole video on that. And I do cover in that video how to add charts to the dashboard. So if you want to add in good looking charts, have a look at that video. Just go to the YouTube channel and take a look. Now let's focus on the content form. Because if we come to content right here and click on add and basic page, you'll see that basic page has a few fields. And this is where your editors spend most of their time, adding and modifying content on these content forms. Now, depending on how many content types you have and also the number of fields, these forms can either be nice and small or very long. And so sometimes it is good to kind of group these fields in a way, and that kind of makes sense. And just to kind of organize things. And there is a module that we can use called field group. This allows us to simply group fields, and this can be used for field widgets and also field formatters. So a widget is the form element that is used to enter in content into the field, and then the field formatter is what is shown on the actual front end. So the formatter is used to grab that data that you've entered in through the field widget and then display it to the end user. So let's go to extend and search for field, and Drupal CMS comes with field group, but if you need to download it, just go ahead and install it and download it, or download it first and then install it. And just give that a moment. Then you want to go to structure, content types, and let's edit our widgets on the manage form display. And then here on the top right, you should see add field group. If you can't see it, clear the cache. Sometimes that button just doesn't want to be shown until you clear the cache. So let's go ahead and add in tabs. So if we click on add field group, we can select a few options. So you have the ability to add in field sets, details, tabs, HTML element, detail sidebar, and then you have tab, singular, not plural. So for us to create a bunch of tabs, let's first create a field group using the tabs with an S, so plural. And let's call this one just tabs. You can actually enter any type of label because the label's technically not shown. Then you can control the direction. So if you want it to be vertical or horizontal, let's just change it to horizontal. And then you can control if you want to allow HTML in the labels, and also you can add in certain IDs and classes. Let's go ahead and click on save. All right. Now, if you scroll all the way down, you should see tabs. Now move that up. I'll move that to under title and click on save. All right. Now let's click on add field group again, but this time for the individual tab, you need to use then the tab group, and then you need to nest the tab group under tabs. Very important. So we'll call this one content. And let's just click on save and continue. And let's create another one for tags. So where is that? Let's move content, then add that below tabs, and then move tags and add that below tabs as well. Essentially what you want is to make sure that they're both nested under tabs. And finally, you want to then move the actual widget. So under content, we want the content field, and under tags, we want the tags field. You can also control, if you click on the cogwheel here on the right-hand side, if it's open or closed, the state. So let's click on save and just make sure everything is there. Yes, it is. And now if we refresh, we get these nice little tabs. And field group is a great way to just organize unruly forms, essentially. And I use it on pretty much every single Drupal site. It is a module that I've been using for last 10 years, 15 years, ever since it's been out, because you always need to control your widgets. It's always important to control them because then your forms get just way too difficult to use. Then on the right-hand side, so here on the right-hand side, we have, let me just zoom out a little bit more so you can kind of see it. So here on the right-hand side, we have a bunch of options as well. What you can do is you can use field group to add fields to the right-hand side. So let's go back to manage form display, click on add field group, and from the add a new field group dropdown, select details sidebar. And if you click on that, and we'll call this one description, I believe that's the description field. Let's add that in. And you can add it anywhere, it doesn't really matter because Drupal will then grab it. And let's add the description field. Where is it? Pop that there. And let's set a weight to, what is it, minus 100. So it's right up the top. And click on save. And now what we get is if you take a look, you will see right up the top, we have description with our description field. So you can add in certain like metadata, for example, in the right-hand side. Again, this is a feature that I've used a lot, especially when I add in fields that modify the look and feel of a page. So in the past, I've done things where I've had a bunch of checkboxes where you can show or hide the title, breadcrumb, and things like that. And that information and that field will be in the sidebar. So it's part of like a layout sidebar item. So again, field group is great for just organizing your fields, organizing them. And the other thing you can do, let's just switch this over to, say, Fieldset. And let's just pop this one. So again, if you want to just group fields in a particular way, I'll just move, well, let me move these tabs off. So you can change them. So this tabs one, we change it to a field set, and then we added in tags and content to it. Let's click on save. And you do have now these tabs, and then you have the fields just grouped inside it. What else you can do is you can set the open state? All right, now let's change that to, I think it's a details one. Yes. And then if you select details, the open, where is it? Oh, there you go, right there. So that means if you click on save, it is open by default or it's closed by default. So if we now have that switched off, come along in here, refresh. No, where is it? Update. Oh, back there. And now it's closed by default. And so you can imagine you might have fields that are required for a content type, but aren't really necessary. And when I say required, I mean, it's just on the content type, but it's not always used. So you can just have them hidden by default like that. Then you click on it and you can also go ahead then and display your content. All right, there is a comment here on YouTube. I was creating a food recipes page, and for adding the ingredient and quantity, I use paragraphs. What do you think of that approach? Yeah, I mean, yeah, paragraphs is great for that. Paragraphs, I know a lot of people use paragraphs to create these paragraph components so you can control the layout of a page, but you have to also understand that the module is great for creating structured data and then being able to nest it. So this example of using it for quantity and ingredients, because you can imagine that you might have a ingredients paragraph type, and then you might with like a quantity field and a ingredients field. So paragraphs is perfect for that. It's absolutely perfect for that. So yeah, by all means, use paragraphs. There is a module about, oh, what is it? I think there is Drupal recipe. Oh, if I type in Drupal recipes, I'm going to get something else. Food recipes. I thought there was. Is it a recipe? Take a look. Honestly, if you want to take a look at a recipe module, there is a Drupal module called recipe that is used for adding recipes to your website, and it is maintained. It was created 2003. It's been around for ages. It's been around for ages. Let me have a look. I want to see which version of Drupal it was actually used on. Version 4. The original initial module was created 23 years ago. Oh my, 23 years ago. What was I doing in 2002? I was 18. That's, I know that. Well, it is awesome that this module is still around. I might actually do a video on it, like a fun little video. How many people use it? Wait, where is it? Where is it? It's here. Oh, 1,400 sites at its peak, and then it kind of dropped down. That's a shame. So yeah, if you want to, here you go. A top tip for today. If you want to learn how to, if you want to add recipes to your site, look at using the recipe module. But if you search for Drupal recipes, you're going to get everything else. So there you go. So, but yeah, to answer your question there, sorry. To answer your question, absolutely use paragraphs for that. I've used paragraphs for like epic, like one time I was working on a site that had a very complex content model where they actually had projects and programs, and we had about 5 or 6 paragraph types that had a lot of metadata inside of the paragraph. So yeah, we've used paragraphs for that. All right. So let me bring this back up. So if you want to organize your widgets and your fields, then take a look at Field Group. It's just a great way of just organizing things and not scaring your editors when they see a massive form with 50 fields. Let's take a look now at creating a custom admin view, and we'll also integrate views bulk edit, because this will then allow us to bulk edit content very easily. And this is also another great feature you can give your users if you trust them. Because trust me, the last thing you want is to give too much power to your editors and they just go in there and stuff things up. Because it's happened to me before where I've added in this module and then I get an email at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon saying, I accidentally made a change by accident. Can you restore it from the backups? And it's like, well, and then you ask them, when did you make this change? And they say, oh, I made it two days ago. And it's like, well, we can't restore from backup if there's been 2 days of content changes. So just be aware that yeah, if you are going to allow views bulk edits, make sure you trust your editors. All right, another comment. Awesome. Gin is a great theme and so customizable. Thanks for sharing how to tweak it. Yeah, well, thank you for watching. Yeah, it is absolutely customizable. Absolutely. I would like to do a video on probably sub-theming it to see how far I can get it. Anyway, that's another video. I have to focus on this video first, getting this one done and dusted. So as I mentioned, Views Bulk Edit is great for bulk editing content, and it is used with Views Bulk Operation. Another one of my favorite modules, I use it a lot. It just allows you to run actions on content, and you can create custom views, like a views table where you can just run things, and it's actually very, very powerful. So let me show you how to set this all up. What we're going to do is create a views page very quickly. And we're going to create one called projects. And I will add it to the admin/content/projects. We'll also change the view settings so that it just shows the projects. So for people who don't know, from the show dropdown, you essentially select what type of content you want to query, and then type of is the content type. Now, this view setting cannot be changed. And that was actually brought up in a video recently. Somebody said you can't change this, which is correct. Because I used to say you can change everything on this page. Well, no, you can't. This view setting you cannot change after you've created the view. But the page setting and block setting you can change. So let's just keep everything as it is and let's create it as a table and hit save. And we'll add in a few fields. No, what is it? Published. There we go. Adding published, and let's put in, no, not published on. What is it? No, published. Sorry about that. And what else? Tags. Let's add in tags as well. So what does this look like? Okay, it's looking good, looking good, looking good. It's a basic table down here. Now, if you want to learn more about views, I do have a video on using views because there is a lot to views and I'm not going to cover how to use it from top to bottom. I've got a video for that. So we've added in our fields and everything. All right, perfect. So now what we can do is let's change it. Always important, you want to change the permission because if we add this, before we do that, let's add it to the menu. So what I'll do is I'll call this one projects and I'll add it to the administration menu because what that allows us, so let's save it. If we go to content, we can see it right here. Look at that. We've now created a custom backend page. Now, there's two important things you need to do on the view for this to happen. First of all, always set the path so it's admin/content because this is the parent path, which is right here, and then projects. And lastly, you want to set the tab. So select menu tab, add in a title, and then set the parent to be administration. And we click on save, okay? Now, you also, very, very important, make sure you change the access because by default, it is going to be view published content. Now, 9 times out of 10, this is given to anonymous users, meaning that anyone can access this page if they have the view published content, which is given to just anonymous users by default. So if I grab this and then go incognito, I can access it. I need to know the direct path, but this is a security vulnerability. You are exposing data outside of you're exposing data to unprivileged users. Because right now it's only showing published content, absolutely, but we can change it. So let's just take off this filter. And if we unpublish, let's go ahead and unpublish this page. Where is it? At the top there. Oh, let's just unpublish that. Come along in here. Then you can still see some information. Of course, you can't click onto it because you don't have permission, but you could leak some important information. So what I recommend, very important, is set the permission straight away. So what you can do is you can set the permission. One of my favorite permissions to set it to is the access the content overview page because this permission is used to access this page. So chances are editors that can access this page should be able to access any other pages up the top here. But again, this just depends on your website, okay? Every site is different. Just think about exactly how you want to set up permissions. Because now if we go to this page, we get a login page, which is exactly what we want. All right. Oh, I missed a comment. Okay, what other modules to create structure exists? Well, no, that's about it. Like you're really, when it comes to defining the content model and the structure of data in Drupal, you do have content types, paragraphs, and there is, well, actually, sorry, that's a lie. I stuffed up there. You do have, what is it, Drupal custom fields. And is it this one? What is it, data? Data field. Yes. Okay. There you go. Store structured data in fields. There we go. All right. So when it comes to organizing structure in specific ways, so custom field allows you to throw on extra properties on a single table. So just imagine you have a single field and you want multiple properties on there. So essentially multiple columns. Now, without opening up the database, okay, because you have to understand this by looking at the table. Essentially what happens is when you create a field in Drupal, it creates a table to store the one value of that field in its own table. Some people like that, some people don't, okay? But what custom field allows you to do is that it allows you to put multiple properties on the same table. So it just saves you from having an extra query or an extra inner join. That is one option. Then you've got data field, which is similar to, what is it, custom field. And it allows you then to put in multiple field types, because the way I think I've got a video on this stuff. Because Drupal has these like properties which defines the data type of the field. Okay. And so with data field, you can essentially, so if you take a look at this example, you can use data field in a way to mimic what paragraphs can do. But the issue is, let me look at the installs. How many installs are there? Yeah, I mean, data field isn't as widely used as paragraphs. And, well, you have 1,400 installs. But yeah, if you look at the paragraphs module, paragraphs is used everywhere. So I would start off with paragraphs first, then see how you go. But I'd probably look at using custom field first, because there's a lot more integration with it and there's a lot more installs. And I think it's just probably more supported. But take a look at both. Take a look at both. And I do have, there is one of these. Oh, here you go. This one. Store structured data in fields using Drupal CMS. There you go. March 8th, 2025. Take a look at that video. Take a look at that video when it comes to that stuff. All right, so we have created our custom table. Let's now add in views bulk operations. So let's search for, well, no, actually, let's not create it first. We need to install it. Search for views, and I will install views bulk edit and views bulk operation. How long have I been gone for? Hour and 15. Oh. I thought I'd smash through this live stream. I end up talking about too many other things. All right, let's come back here. Concentrate, Ivan, concentrate. Don't worry, I'm going to be finishing up soon. All right, so we've installed it. Let's search for views bulk. There we go, views bulk operation, and click on add and configure. And then from the actions, let's enable publish, unpublish. I always like those. And also views bulk operation, you can change the label, which is great. And then you want to modify field values and click on apply. All right. Now comes the fun part. Go back here. And now we get this nice little, well, actually, before we do that, let's do one final change. And let's move the checkbox here, they can see on the right-hand side to the left-hand side, to the left. And if we refresh, we've got it to the left. So what can we do? Well, we can select all, okay? And let's go ahead and just select the top two, and we will unpublish content item. And you can straight away see that it is unpublished. Or we can go ahead, or we can select all of them and go unpublished. And just does it. That is absolutely awesome. That is awesome. You do take for granted the views module and also views bulk operations. When you work on other CMSs that do not have this type of functionality, we can easily just spin up a custom page, custom table, and just run bulk operations. And best of all, these actions are just use the action plugin, so you can modify it yourself. Okay, yeah, it's just awesome stuff. All right, so what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and select the top three, and we can modify field values. We can change the title, and best of all, you can append to the current value. You can replace the current value. But let's go ahead and add in, what is it? The tags, okay? And we're going to add in a new tag called add bulk. We're bulking up. And take note of the change method. Add a new value to the multi-value field. That's just a Drupal way of saying we're just going to chuck the tag at the end of the other tags. And so you'll see that we have add bulk, add bulk, add bulk, but we still have the original tags. And that's important because sometimes you may want to just add extra tags to the end of the existing tags, or you may want to fully replace. Where is it? Tags, replace, and then select replace the current value, and just gone ahead and just totally replace the value of that multi-value field. Let's go ahead and imagine we want to, oh no, let's do a few. Let's do a bit of fun here. So let's select all and let's publish the bottom three, or no, every other item. And if we want to mark these as, I don't know, delete or something like that, what you can do, you can go modify, change the table, change the title, append, all right, fix up. And then you can add in a revision log message. And straight away, you've added in a little message in there saying fix up. And then your editors can come along and be like, you know what, this needs to be fixed up. And if we edit our page, where is revisions? Revisions, we should see the revision log message. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. So when it comes to customizing the backend for your editors, make sure you make use of the views module, because as you can see, you can create some powerful pages just by creating a basic table and then adding in views bulk operations, using views bulk edit. And just with those two extra modules, you can create some pretty powerful backend pages. So if you want to modify your backend, take a look at Gin. So modifying the admin. So think of it from outside in. You have the Gin admin theme, and then you have Gin layout builder for integrating the theme with layout builder, login to create your admin page, your login pages. Then you can use admin toolbar to give yourself a nice little toolbar up the top. And then you can create your custom links and menus using custom menu. Then you've got coffee theme for jumping between pages, field group to group your fields, and finally views bulk operation and views bulk edit to bulk edit your content and also run bulk operations. So that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for all the questions. If you have any comments, please leave them. And also, if you want to learn more about Drupal, then check out our other live streams on the YouTube channel, and also head over to webwash.net. I do need to start posting a bit more onto webwash.net because I've been focusing on these videos mostly, and I've been very busy the last few weeks, so haven't been able to write much content. But I will be pushing more content back onto webwash.net. And if you have any comments or have any ideas for other live streams, please let me know. Anyway, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all next time. All right, so that was it. Oh, all right, this live stream ended up going a lot longer than I thought. I actually thought it'll be a short one, but no. No, it's not. All right, thanks for the questions. So thank you for everyone for the questions. I loved it. That's some great questions today. That's some great questions. Thank you very much. Thanks for everyone. Yeah. Oh. And winner, chicken dinner, because the stream didn't fail, which is good. My internet didn't drop, which is really good. And everything has so far worked. All right, cool. And everything's recorded, I believe, which is great. All right, cool. So I can stop recording. I'll still just be around if anyone has any questions. And I will, where is it? Where's Camtasia? I need to turn off Camtasia. Hopefully Camtasia has recorded as well. Yes, it has. Very good. No, screen only. No. I've been having some issues with Camtasia recently. Annoyingly. Anyway. There's a whole other conversation. All right, cool. That's looking good. All right, awesome. Okay. All right, so where's everything here? All right, cool. So thank you very much for joining. I hope everyone has gotten our inspiration to go in there and modify the gin theme. There's actually a fair bit. So if you take a look here. So if you want to, wait, where is it? Gin. So here is what is this secondary toolbar? Interesting. There's Gin Gutenberg. I wonder how the Gutenberg module is going. Let's have a look. That was my first video, like first of the live streams that I did, was actually using Gutenberg. So maybe it's due for an update. Oh, what's this padlock? All right, well, it's still being used. Well, let's have a look and see what's installs. It's getting along there. It's getting along. I don't mind using the Gutenberg editor. It's not perfect, but honestly, writing content online isn't fun. I don't know if anyone's ever written it, but back in the day when I used to write a lot of content, online. I do mostly videos now. I do need to get back into writing tutorials. Anyway. All right, well, I'll leave you all to it. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you all next time. Anyway, see you later. Have fun.